Welcome to Constructing and Administering an Informal Reading Inventory, IRI, a how-to video presentation. The first thing you need to do is prepare yourself. Being prepared is the only way that you can help your students successfully and effectively complete the IRI and achieve accurate results. What you will need: copies of the IRI word list, passages and questions and summary sheet, pencils, paper, and timer if necessary, sticky notepad for quick notes of interest, and a quiet space with good seating, desk, lighting, and comfortable temperature. Be prepared. Learn how to administer the particular IRI by reading any included instructions. Pre-read all of the passages and questions presented in the IRI and make sure you have complete comprehension of the passages and understand what the questions are asking. Practice your delivery of the instructions and questions so that you do not get confused and have a plan of what to say and do. It is our duty as educators to make sure that our students are presented with lessons and activities, curriculum, and a community environment that are not only conducive to learning but are also fun, safe, and differentiated to meet their goals and needs. Make sure that you have created a rapport with the student that you are administering the IRI to, so that the student feels comfortable and will perform his best. Explain to the student that today he will be reading a few passages, some aloud and some silently, and that you'll be listening to him read and asking him some questions. Make sure to encourage the student and assure him that this is not a test. Many people suffer from test anxiety and do poorly on activities that they deem are testing their abilities. Make sure you have all of your materials on the desk, preview all of the materials with the child, and answer any questions he may have. You are now ready to begin administering the IRI. Note: you may choose to fill in the child's information on the summary form before or after you administer the IRI. However, do not do so during the IRI even if the student is reading silently. Rather, you should be observing the student's reading behaviors and taking notes either on the IRI or the sticky notes you gathered earlier. Begin with the word list. You should start 2 levels below the child's current grade level. Since my student is in the 3rd grade, I will start with the 1st grade list. Note: if the student has many errors, even at 2 grade levels below his current grade, begin at a lower level. This student had many errors, so I began him at pre-primer. I also knew that on a prior IRI, he was reading at the 1st grade level, therefore pre-primer made sense. Use your judgment. As the child attempts to read the words, write down any errors on the line provided on the IRI word list. You should have your own so that the child does not see which words he got wrong because he may become discouraged or stop trying. Keep encouraging the student no matter what. You want him to do his best and feel confident. Next, begin administering the reading passages. The highest grade level at which the student has no errors on the graded word list is the grade level at which he begins reading the oral passage. Before the child begins, explain to him that he will be reading some passages to you. Some he will read aloud and some silently to himself. The child reads the first passage aloud. Make note of any errors he makes on your own copy of the IRI. You will need this later when you are analyzing the results. Once the child completes reading the passage aloud, ask him the questions at the bottom of the page. Make sure he cannot see them since the sample answers are provided. Take down the answers quickly and score the questions. There's a table code for marking and scoring errors on page 194. You need to score the oral reading passages. If the child has scored at the independent level, you should administer the next level. Once you have identified the child's instructional level, you need to administer the next level in order to identify the child's frustration level. Once the child has reached his or her frustration level, you should stop administering the oral reading passage. The same is true for the silent reading passage. Once you have identified all 3 levels of silent and oral reading, you should read the next unfamiliar passage to the student in order to establish the highest level the student can comprehend as the test is read to him. It is called listening capacity level. After finding the listening capacity level, you need to analyze the results and fill out the summary sheet. You will find the sample on page 211. Finally, you can put all of the information together. You will analyze all of your data and write up a report explaining your findings. These findings will help you create an individual instructional plan for your students' reading needs. I hope that this how-to video helps you plan and administer your own IRI.